organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on tonight's newscast, Iowa responds to the Syrian conflict. We have the story in a bit.
And from bread to business, one Iowa City woman shares her gluten-free products with the world.
And in sports, finding a new path.
The story of Iowa gymnast Emma Willis. We have all that at the top of the hour. Daily Iowan TV starts right now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Rebecca Hager.
And I'm Muriel Kone. The Environmental Protection Agency is cutting 3 billion gallons of ethanol from its gasoline blend. Iowa is a top ethanol producing state, and lawmakers say this move will devastate Iowa's economy and reduce jobs. Iowa Governor Terry Branstad invited Midwestern politicians and ethanol supporters from the state for a day-long hearing to criticize the proposal.
War and other conflicts continue to affect Syria. People in Syria have lived through tough times the last 3 years, but what does that mean for Syrians here on campus? Daily Iowan reporter Stefan Duran sat down with Syrian native to discuss helping efforts here on campus.
The ongoing Syrian conflict has ruined lives, destroyed homes, and torn apart this Middle Eastern country. Although the devastation is happening on the other side of the world, some Syrian natives living in Iowa City have made it their job to stay informed and help in any way they can.
I get out my laptop and I see what's in the news, and in case of like a recent bombing or stuff like that, I look at the area and see if I know any friends out there, and I call them and I check if they're doing okay or not.
Musa's family and friends are just some of the millions living the Syrian civil war firsthand. Millions of children witness violence on a daily basis and have trouble finding the essentials like shelter and clean water. On top of that, Syria is battling one of their worst winter seasons.
They live in a very horrific, camps. It's very bad humanitarian conditions, and now we're trying to help them through doing some events and collecting some money for the UNICEF.
The Emergency Campaign for Syrian Refugees is hosting an event that will help UNICEF raise money for their largest humanitarian drive in history. And although awareness is the event's main goal, Musa says it will have fun, positive aspects as well.
Pretty much introducing the Syrian culture. We're bringing some Syrian food. We're going to play some music from the region. So it's a more of introduction to the area. As well as it is a fundraiser.
The event is tonight at the Old Brick Church, and donations will go towards UNICEF's humanitarian efforts.
The March 31st deadline to sign up for healthcare is creeping up. Many are having trouble navigating the healthcare.gov website, and Iowa City Public Library hosted 3 people last night to help answer questions about the website. One of them, Tristan Johnson, said the most helpful tool they teach is how to use the tool called Find Local Help. The tool allowed web researchers to find local healthcare providers in their area by entering their zip code or city code.
It's really good to know that I've maybe helped someone get insurance that they have never had before, or that just get something that they've been really confused.
The library plans to host more help sessions in the coming weeks.
Guests are enjoying new guest rooms at the Ronald McDonald House this week. The center made major renovations to 10 rooms in just 10 hours. We talked to one of the first families to use the remodeled rooms, and in an interview with the Daily Iowan, Almeda Walker, a Des Moines native, said that the new updates give more of a bedroom feel and makes it feel more at home when you're not actually able to go home.
Is it just winter or another polar vortex? We're feeling a lot of cold in the Midwest this week, but so is a lot of the country, especially the Northeast.
And southern states are doing what they can to handle the cold too. States such as Tennessee have experienced the coldest temperatures and highest utility demands for heating in recorded history.
And although Iowa is a seasoned veteran in handling cold temperatures, the cold is causing some problems.
Yeah, Muriel, we are having some problems of our own, and it's the salt. It's just not as effective in the frigid cold because the traditional ice melting compounds don't cut it anymore. Temperatures will drop into the low 10s this week, and tonight we are looking at temperatures below freezing. Tomorrow's high of 33 should bring some warmth to the Hawkeye State, but it won't be for long. Unlike the polar vortex in early January, the cold is here to stay. With a high of -5 on Monday, it will be a frigid start to the week, followed by a high of 6 on Tuesday. Towards the end of the week, temperatures will approach the low 20s, giving us a much-needed break from the frigid weather. These temperatures bring life-threatening conditions, so stay safe and stay warm. Rebecca and Muriel, back to you.
Can't pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan? Are you worried about how you're going to find out about the latest news in Iowa City and the University of Iowa? Well, look no further. You can download the Daily Iowan mobile app on your iPhone for the area's best news coverage. And you can also read and watch us on your iPad. You can always find current and past Daily Iowan stories at dailyiowan.com. The Daily Iowan is now on TV, online, and in your pocket. If it happens, it's news to us.
We've all heard of the gluten-free fad diet by now, but for some, it's not a fad diet, it's a way of life. According to the National Foundation for Celiac Awareness, 1 in 133 Americans has celiac disease. That means they cannot digest gluten, a protein found in many foods such as bread. This week in Spotlight Iowa City, I spoke with an Iowa City woman who turned her gluten-free bread into business.
And then all you do is hit start.
Anna Sabaski is taking back bread. She was diagnosed with celiac disease in 1999.
I wasn't feeling great, and I sort of knew that this could potentially be a big change for me in my life.
At the time, there were not many gluten-free products on the market, so Anna set out to make the perfect piece of bread.
I wanted the breads to be really high in protein and fiber because I also am type 1 diabetic since age 16.
After experimenting with different flours, she had her first product. Then she altered the recipe for her sister, who is lactose intolerant and allergic to corn.
I thought, you know what? Maybe I can make a living at this.
So Breads from Anna was born. Now the company sells 12 different mixes, from bread to brownies, pancakes, and more, all tailored for those with allergies and gluten intolerances.
It's really clean and clear what we put in our product.
Now Anna has customers in all 50 states, sales in Dubai, Canada, and Singapore, and requests from all over Europe and Australia.
I tell grocery buyers, we may not be the first product your customers buy, but we're likely going to be the last.
Store by store, she's spreading the word.
Healthy food can also be delicious.
That celiacs can eat delicious and nutritious food too. Anna told me that she's working on some new recipes, such as a beer bread, so we'll have to look out for that.
Nice, that sounds great. And now we'll look at what's happening beyond Iowa.
You might want to hit up the Presidential Hangout with the President next week, all thanks to a recent collaboration between the White House and Google. It's the first ever, quote, Presidential Hangout road trip, which will allow anyone and everyone to meet Obama over Google Hangout following his State of the Union address next Tuesday. If you have any questions for the Commander-in-Chief, you can ask them, but they do ask that you submit a 60-second video with your name and location.
Justin Bieber was arrested today for alleged DUI charges, drag racing, resisting arrest. Police pulled the celebrity over at 4 a.m. in Miami Beach, Florida. Police called it a wild, drug-filled race between Bieber and his friend. Bieber admitted to smoking marijuana and using other drugs throughout the day. This is the first arrest for the 19-year-old. Rebecca, tough break for the Hawks Wednesday night in Ann Arbor.
Close, but no cigar for Fran McCaffrey and company. Our sports staff with all the news and reactions starting now. Guys?
For the first time since 2002, the Iowa men's basketball team came into a Big Ten matchup as a top 10 team in the country. And well, for the first time since 2002, the Black and Gold lost as a top 10 team in the country.
That's right, Aaron. Bad news from the start. Last night in the House of Maize and Blue, with Nick Stauskas stealing the show after pouring in 26 points to lead the 21st ranked Wolverines to a 75-67 victory over the visiting Hawkeyes.
Despite the loss, junior forward Aaron White may have become a household name heading into the second half and the Big Ten season, nearly lifting Iowa to what would have been a marquee victory on the road.
14 straight points down the stretch will turn heads at any level. Unfortunately, White's first half play, or lack thereof, may have ultimately cost the Hawks. It's a trend the Ohio native will have to buck if this group plans to make a deep run in March. Our basketball beat reporter Jalen Socek has the story.
A new trend has developed for Iowa's junior forward Aaron White, with having a dismal first half showing that he'll make up for in the second half. In Wednesday's night's matchup against Michigan, he went blank for shot attempts while accounting for a single point off of a pair of free throws. Then came the second half, where White pushed 16 more points on the board for Iowa, going 6 of 12 from the field, but it wasn't enough to close in on the lead, falling to the Wolverines 75-67. 3 days earlier against Minnesota, both White and Devin Marble took a backseat in the first half to Josh Ogilvy's 3-game when he went 4 of 4 from the arc. But the pair came fighting in the second half, closing out the game with a combined 34 points after only combining for a single point in the first half. The junior only took 5 shots but ended the game with 18 points, 10 coming from the line. This time, Iowa was able to come back from a halftime deficit to beat Minnesota 94-73.
Kind of embarrassed with how I played, to be honest with you. 0 points. The one shot I did got blocked by a 5'9" point guard, which is interesting. You know, I had to turn the light on and really come out aggressive, and you know, I think I did that early on. You know, that putback got me going, and then I had the post move, and then from then on, you know, I was driving, getting to the free throw line, and I think that's what our team needed at that time. I think our team needed Dev and myself to step up, and I think that's what we did. And
if Iowa wants to find success against the Wildcats this Saturday, White needs to continue playing strong, just this time in the first and second half.
As disappointing as Wednesday night might have been for the Hawks on the hardwood, Emma Willis's winner has undoubtedly been tougher to swallow.
Whitney Blakemore has a story of how an injury is forcing one of Iowa's best to take a different path.
Since the age of 2, Emma Willis has had gymnastics in her blood, competing all around the world on the Canadian national team and then as an Iowa gymnast. But with such a high level of gymnastics comes injuries. Willis underwent 2 elbow, 2 left knee, and 4 right knee surgeries. But it was ultimately a required meniscal transplant that ended her career this season.
It was hard to tell my team that I wouldn't be competing with them this season. It was hard to tell my family that they couldn't come watch me compete anymore. It was really difficult. Yeah.
It's been difficult to fill her shoes. Those are big shoes that you're trying to fill. Not only that, but she's just a great kid.
Along with being the Hawkeyes' go-to all-around competitor, Willis was also the leading scorer on the vault. But unfortunately, with a career-ending knee injury, she's helping her team in another way on the sidelines as team manager.
We kind of do a mix of everything. There's a bunch of managers on the team. We help order the food for them when it comes to meet day. We move the mats for them. We do coach them a little bit if we see something, especially because we were gymnasts. So actually, gymnasts make the best coaches.
As team manager, Willis is able to lend her expertise as a competitor to the younger girls by giving advice during practice and even just calming them down before a meet.
She still contributes to the team and has a huge impact. You know, she helps every single day in practice, in the competitions, you know, gives us that extra boost of confidence. So that's really good. And we love having her, you know, as our team manager. So
Willis says she will miss those days on the mat, but being a team manager is the next best thing.
To me, it's a blessing because I may have lost the gymnast, but I didn't lose the gymnastics.
Whitney Blakemore, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have on tonight's show, but a quick reminder before we leave you tonight.
The number 2 ranked Iowa wrestlers take on yet another top 5 opponent in Minnesota this weekend in Carver Hawkeye Arena.
For exclusive highlights, insight, and post-match sound of this one, be sure to check out our brand new mini-series, Mat Side, this coming Monday on dailyiowan.com.
But for now, Muriel, Rebecca, it's back to you guys at the desk.
That's all we have tonight, but be sure to check Friday's edition of the Daily Iowan.
Read about how one University of Iowa class is helping low-income families file for their tax returns.
And the Johnson County Board of Supervisors accepted a $3.9 million bid for reconstruction.
Thanks for tuning in this evening. We'll be back at the same time on Sunday, or you can catch us anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Have a great night.